Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. We're back once again. Today we're in the 1.21 update. A random piece of podzol back there. It's okay. We're in 1.21. We have most of the stuff that we need in order to, do all the recording and stuff like that. The only thing we're really missing at this point is replay mod, but that's coming soon, hopefully. I also got better clouds installed. I think they look pretty good. Let's go ahead and clean this up real quick. So it's been a little while. I've spent a little bit of time just kind of running around the world, getting reacquainted with it, and I think we're ready to pick up where we left off. So one thing that we were talking about last episode was kind of fixing up these paths a little bit, and potentially maybe even making a build over here, maybe a little farmhouse or something. We're just continually kind of expanding this little area out, where we're going to keep building up. It's going to make this look a lot better over time. Right now, we just kind of have this front view of the base, and then it's all empty behind it. But this is a pretty big island, so we got lots of room to build on. The other thing that we talked about was potentially taking these paths out and replacing them with something different. I don't know if we'll get around to that today or not. It's a pretty big project, and we want to make sure we get it right. We should also fill in some of these areas, between the builds we have at the front of the pier here. But first things first, I think what I would like to do is actually do a little bit of an upgrade. We need to get out of this iron armor, is basically where we're at right now. So let's take a look. We have our storage system back here. I've been trying to categorize stuff, the best that I can with the limited amount of space. Let's take our diamonds, which we don't have a ton of, but we should have enough for a full set here. Sure we do. Okay. With 16 left over, not bad. And down here at our enchanting setup, which we have underneath of our starter house, let's take a look and see what we can get on our new armor pieces. So that's Unbreaking 3. Is all armor the same? It is not. So that gives us Depth Strider, which wouldn't be bad at all. We have Aqua Affinity, which also wouldn't be bad. Protection 3. Let's go for Depth Strider. We have Protection 3, Depth Strider 3, Unbreaking. That's okay. Can't complain about that. Protection 3 on the helm. Protection 3 on the pants. Unbreaking on the chest. Okay, let's do protection, unbreaking. Okay, not terrible. Another unbreaking and unbreaking. Okay. Sure. Okay, that could have been better. For sure. Another unbreaking 3 and fire protection. I don't love that. I think, ooh. I think we'll have enough for like one more enchant. I think the chest piece is more important. So let's try that. Protection 4. There we go. I'll take it. You know what? I'll take it. And just, oh, we could do one more actually with the diamond helm. Okay. You know what? May as well do it. Let's see what we have in here. Unbreaking 3. Ooh. Fire, Aqua Affinity. Honestly, I think I want Aqua Affinity. So let's just get that. We'll come back. We'll revisit this at a later. Could do one more. No. It's fine. It's fine. So let's take off our old armor. And there we have it. We are finally kitted out a little bit. I mean, we still have a little ways to go, but diamond is definitely a big upgrade for us at this point. We could probably throw our lapis back in here, and we'll just throw our old armor in there as well. Why not? So the other thing that we need to consider here is as we continue to expand this base, our main kind of roadway actually is coming through this gatehouse we built, right? So coming from the docks or the pier up into the rest of the builds that'll happen over time. This is really the main roadway. It's not this path anymore. And this build, unfortunately, it's a little bit in the way, to be honest. I don't think we want this to stick around. Do we have anything in these barrels? Sure we do. We'll empty that out real quick. And then, do we have anything else? No. So I think the first thing we want to do is probably tear this down, unfortunately. It served its purpose. I did gut the inside out already, I guess. So let's do that first and foremost. All right, with our starter house kind of out of the way at this point, I kind of threw just everything into these little barrels here, but we took down the structure, we took down the enchanting area below it. The enchanting area we'll probably throw into one of these buildings if I had to guess. But maybe the next thing to work on here is to start looking at kind of the path in general, right? So if we imagine coming up through here, obviously we're gonna have to do some like staircase elevation type things here. The path is going to it's gonna have to curve around this to some degree to link back up with kind of the main path we have right now. It's not the most fluid thing in the world, but I think it's okay. If we imagine coming through here, the only downside to this is you're not really going to be able to see any other structures until you come up to kind of this spot right here. I'm imagining we'll have something in this area here, but everything else is going to be getting built on these hills, right? So obviously there'll be less trees, once we continue expanding the builds out and everything like that, but just trying to keep an eye on kind of where your eyes go as you come up here. This is something that, a lot of really good builders in Minecraft think about is kind of what you see as you're moving through your paths and stuff like that. But maybe we're running the risk of kind of overthinking this. So I think what I want to do here is I want to start kind of lining this path out. I think 3 to 4 blocks coming up here is fine for the most part. We might want to expand it a little bit more. So maybe let me throw these in our offhand for now. I don't think we're going to be in any... Oh, it doesn't really work with a shovel, does it? No, it doesn't. Okay. So we're going to have to do it a different way. Okay. Let's just remove the axe for now, and we'll just start replacing this as we come up. And maybe one more here. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to build up kind of a retaining wall as we come up this path is effectively the goal here, right? So then on this side, we would have something like that. That's going to be a 4 wide path, which is a little weird. So maybe instead, we'll build the retaining wall all the way over here. So our retaining wall will kind of be something like this. And we'll come in, we'll detail it out, all that good stuff, right? We'll throw in other block types, we'll throw in slabs and stuff just to mix it up a little bit. But now we start getting this idea of, okay, this is kind of the main road. It has some infrastructure built around it. Obviously, we'll have to fill some of this stuff in over here, but and we'll have to figure out a road design as well. But this will come up here. We might end up knocking out some of this field. It's tricky just thinking about all of this, but maybe what'll help. Let's try this. Let's go into free cam mode and let's just get a bird's eye view here. So everything on this side will probably just get removed for the time being. And this becomes the main kind of path, right? So we'll probably shave off some of this area here just to make the path a little bit bigger. And then it'll expand out and it'll, branch out to the right and left here. And then it'll continue kind of up the mountain. But before we get too distracted, let's make sure that we don't get snuck up on here. I think the concept works at least. So this becomes our path. Um, you know, maybe just for now, we path all that out. That's fine. And then, yeah, we just continue kind of building up the retaining walls around here. And this is kind of a weird spot behind these builds. It's only 1 block wide. It's a little bit weird, right? So we're going to have to figure that out as well. But let me start working on that, and I'll come right back with you. Okay, I've done a little bit of work, just kind of detailing this out a little bit. I replaced all this coarse dirt with just a little patch of grass. I'm still trying to figure out what to do here. Maybe we'll set up just like a tiny little pop-up shop or something. Could be cool. But for now, it's just going to be some bone mealed grass. And then moving back on toward this path, I've kind of got this more or less figured out, I think. You can see down each side as well. I tried to just put in these retaining walls, just getting an idea of it. I don't want to do too much until I'm very sure this is, kind of the approach I want to take, but it does help if you're down here. It makes a little bit more sense where you're looking at a retaining wall rather than just like a pile of dirt behind all these buildings. This is an exception here, but we'll fix that later. But it does seem a little bit more cohesive. And it is nice as you kind of walk along this pier or this dock or whatever it is. You do get some sight line actually up into the mountain, which is cool. And you kind of get the same here as well. This will all become retaining wall as well. So this will look much like it does over there. And then you get these glimpses up, kind of up into the hills. So I'm kind of liking the idea, at least in concept. This, of course, is going to be our main path coming up into the main base. And what is nice is as you make this kind of round here, is you do see kind of our silo off in the distance, which is nice. And then as you come along here, I want to have another build over to the left just to give it a little bit of symmetry, I think. So if we come up here, and obviously we're going to have to terraform this out a little bit, but that won't be too big of a job. I've kind of put in these little placeholder blocks just to kind of get an idea of where the build should go. And I think it'd be cool to have kind of a farmhouse vibe up here. So kind of the person who's overseeing all these big old wheat fields we have going on. And then this should also be very viewable from the dock and potentially as you kind of come up into the main part of the road, you'll see the silo off to the right, and then hopefully you'll be able to see this farmhouse off to the left. I think that's kind of what we're going to go for. Obviously, these little guys down here are going to need to move eventually, and then we'll probably move this little field here too as well. But it's coming together. I really wish I had replay mod just to like time lapse some of this stuff out, but it's just not out yet, so we're waiting on that. So the plan is to just kind of keep making progress around the base here, and I'll bring you in at kind of key little moments. So let me get to work here, and we'll be back with you momentarily. All right, I think we've got kind of the base layout that we're going for here. I think it's going to be a 2-story structure rather than the 3 stories that we've been doing over on the pier over there. Pretty similar design, all things considered. But it's mostly just because I want to keep a general like aesthetic theme in the area. We'll probably branch out here and there. But, oh, fell down. That's okay. But yeah, basically we're going to have this first story here. Relatively small footprint. And then an upstairs where folks will be sleeping, all that good stuff, right? And we'll terraform out kind of this general area around it. But I wanted to bring you in just to give you a quick little update on the build. Hopefully we have enough resources to finish the build. I didn't really plan any of this out necessarily, like I did for the other builds down there. But let me do a little bit more work and we'll bring you back in. We have it just about right where we want it for the time being. You can see that I've added a little bit more detail onto the build itself with some of these kind of like hanging flower beds or pots or however you want to call it. We kind of have this lower area where we're probably going to put some storage in there if I had to guess. And then the upper area where I just have a bed for now. We'll need to detail out the inside here at some point. We have a bunch of stuff, right, that we need homes for. So I'm not too concerned about that, but I opted to use some of the bamboo, which is a newer block for me. I opted to use that for the roof. I think it ties it in pretty well. It kind of gives it that farmhouse feel. And we also extended the path out a little bit as well. So this ends up curving all the way around, leading up to the farmhouse. We'll probably do some secondary builds on here as well. Maybe like a little shed coming off the side. We kind of have this exterior staircase going up into the second floor. So for now, I think it fits in pretty well. And you can see it kind of peeking out in some cases over the other buildings, but certainly from a kind of a dead on kind of viewpoint, you can have this front view and then the two builds in the back. So it's coming together. But I've been thinking about this path, and I think I have a design that I want to pursue here. But in order to do so, we're going to need some more blocks. So I think it's time to whip out the old trusty boat and go try to track down some more resources. So let me get started on that, and I'll be back with you here momentarily. You know, as we're out and about, one thing I just realized is that we haven't really even found any shipwrecks or anything because we're kind of away from the ocean. So I think this might be a good opportunity for us just to break in here, potentially. There we go. And see if we can't find anything cool. A bunch of paper. Don't really need paper. Don't really need feathers. We could take this, and I'm actually gonna drop off all this gold gear. I've stumbled across a couple ruined portals, and they were just filled with all this golden gear that we don't actually need. If I remember correctly, I think there should be, yeah, one more chest in here. Let's see if we can't take a quick peek. We'll take the gold. We'll take this. Bottle enchanting, sure. Let's get out of here before we drown. All right, we've stumbled across another one here. Let's see if we can't sneak inside and see what we get. First chest, we'll take the treasure map, I suppose. I got another one in here. We'll take a diamond for sure. Getting a ton of iron out of this too, which is actually really nice. I think that's probably all we're gonna get here though. Well, not bad. Let's take a quick peek here. What? There's a skeleton here. What in the world? Like a... Oh, we found templates! Oh, this is the first time I found those. Let's not drown. Yeah, we found some smithing templates. Okay. So that's a thing that we're gonna have to look at. I honestly don't really even know how to use those yet, but you know, we'll figure it out. I feel like I'm doing like a old Farlands or bus trick here. Just finding a spot while you're exploring around, throwing a bed down, figuring it out as you go. Oh, we have a desert temple here that we can explore. I don't think we've actually seen one of these yet in the series, so let's take a peek. If I remember this correctly, there should kind of be like a main entrance, and that's what you're kind of shooting for here. Let's see if we can't get in here. This seems like a way. Yes, okay. So, if I remember correctly, yeah, I do remember correctly. So we're not going to break anything. If you've never done a desert temple before, there's a couple things to know. So let's light up this place a little bit first, just in case. And the sun was getting low. Well, regardless, we'll set our spawn here just in case the something horrible happens. But there's a pressure plate right there, and if anything lands on that, you're gonna have a bad time. So it's usually best just to dig down safely this way, pop that guy off, And this is why right here. There's a bunch of TNT under that pressure plate, and it will absolutely go off. Nice. We have some more armor trims. A golden apple, sure, we'll take that. Nothing really in that guy. Take the gold, I suppose. Impaling, sure. We'll probably leave all this stuff here. We don't need any of that, really. We don't really need TNT either, to be honest. Ooh, enchanted golden apple. We'll definitely take that. And we'll take the gold, too. Nice. Well, we finally found a mangrove swamp. So now we have access to mud, which is great. There's also a ruined portal right here. Already taking a look, looted out this chest. Just had flint and iron in it, but we could potentially repair this portal and use that to get back and forth, which might be actually really handy because this is a pretty good distance away from our base. So the plan here is to basically fill up our inventory as much as we can with mud, and then figure out the best way to get back to our base. Right now, it kind of seems like that nether portal would be the best way to go about it, because it basically cuts your travel time down by, like, it's an eighth of what it was, right? That's how the two kind of zones work. So that might be what we do, but first we're going to sit here and try to get as much of this as we can. All right, I just came through the nether portal over at the Mangrove Swamp, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to go through the overworld first, and then maybe we'll link these up, get a little bit better of a bearing here. Just because I don't really remember where our portal is for our base in the nether. So, we got the coordinates. Let's turn that off. Let's pop back through here into the Mangrove Swamp. This is not where I placed the portal. Uh-oh. we've got issues. Now we've got issues. My bed is down there, so let's see if we can't... Oh, hello. Do I have my bow? I sure do. Let's take this guy out just as fast as we can. Very good. And we're just gonna see if we can't pop down here. Where did we come out at? This is insane. What are our coordinates here? Negative 6,000. Okay. Interesting. We may have sealed our fate. We may have sealed our fate here. I hear movement. It's scary. It's a zombie. Less afraid. Okay, got him easily. Yeah, that is, I don't think that's where we really were. Where are you at, creeper? Get out here. Let's use some of these guys here. Let's just pillar up for a moment and get an idea of what we're looking at. So that's where our nether portal, I guess, kicked us out at. That is not the portal we went through originally. We went through one of the broken portals, which I figured would have, you know, just kind of linked up normally, but maybe they don't. Couldn't tell you, to be honest. So we may have to go through the nether after all. Do we have any golden armor? Okay, we do. This is good. This might just be the way we have to go, which is a little horrifying. So let me see if I can't get my bearings here, and we'll start the journey. Okay, I think I've figured out where we need to go. Now we're our base nether portal is at 34, 70, 32. So we're about, what is this? 800-ish blocks away, basically. Which isn't too far. And I think if we go kind of in this direction, we have some building blocks that we can use here. So we're just gonna have to hope and pray that we don't encounter anything horrible while we're in here. All right, we finally made it back to our base nether portal. That was quite a trek. Not quite as long as, in the overworld, obviously, but we ended up just caving our entire way through the nether until we got back to the staircase. So let's go through here. Let's go home. Let's get out of this awful, awful place. And I pray. Okay, good. It did dump us back out at home. This is good. Collected a couple resources while we were there. Mostly just some basalt, some black stone. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, we just wanted to make sure that we got back in one piece. It is daylight, which is great. Let's get up here and unload all of our goodies. And then we can start talking about what we want to do with these roads. That was a crazy, absolutely crazy journey just to go get some mud. I started laying out the kind of framework for this path, and I like it quite a bit. It isn't too different of a color palette than what it was before. It's kind of in the same hue, I guess, sorta. But I found that the jungle stairs, the jungle wood stairs, fits in really nicely with this kind of block palette that we're working with. And I like it. This keeps it, somewhat rustic. It's not like a fully like stone and like carved out roadway or anything like that. But I do like this color palette. We might need to come back in here and break up some of like this stuff here and just add in a little bit more color variation or block variation. But I think we're gonna go with this. And that's about as much as we can get done in one session here. I actually ran out of mud, so we're gonna have to take that trip back sooner than we thought, unfortunately. It's quite a trek to get back there. We have a bunch of dirt left over. Obviously we're tearing out a bunch of what we had already, but let's go and hop into free cam here and just get a bird's eye view. So we haven't changed the dock much. That's going to be a future project. I definitely want to add a little bit more interest in here going forward. But our actual new roadway, it's actually looking pretty good. We still, like I said, we may need to come in here and do a little bit of work here and there. But I really like the block palette that we chose. You can see I kind of ran out of resources at this point. But I like the block palette. I like the color palette as well. The jungle wood works really well here because it's a kind of reddish brown. We finished the path all the way up to the silo here. And then we got about halfway, I guess, from this point to the new farmhouse. So all in all, not too bad. We're going to have to go and do another mud collection trip here at some point. But I do like it quite a bit. So let me know what you guys think. That's probably going to do it for me for today. Next episode, we'll try to do a little bit more building. But it's good to be back in the world. It's good to be back in 1.21. We have a ton of stuff that we still need to explore and kind of figure out as we go. Maybe we'll do some armor trims next episode. We'll see. But like I said, that's going to do it for me for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do. And let me know what you think about the road and kind of how things are coming along. We need to figure out something to put in this plot right behind me. So if you have any ideas, throw them in the comments below. Till then, we'll see you next episode.